let me tell you why. If you don't parse this, if you just say var sales is equal to sales div, okay. No, I mean like response text, right? If you don't parse it, you'll see that the name and the dot sales is not found because it's not an object, or may not even work at all. Let's see. Okay, see, it's not found. Okay, because there's no object called dot name and dot sales, because this is just a string. If I want to print this out so we can see it, if I do something like div.innerHTML, replace that with sales, you see that it's just a string of data. Oh. Didn't like it, but oh no, well, because I put the div, I put the div down here. It doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah, put the sales div in here. Let's see. So this is just a string. Okay, this is not an object. Okay, if I were to put this sales outside of it, make this a global variable, and then we can access the sales. Okay, it's in the global space. I'm going to run this again. You'll see that if I type in sales, you see it's just a string, right? A string is different than if I were to do this. I put another one here so you can see it. Well, sales 2, and then sales 2 is that stringify. Okay, sales 2 is object, sales is just string. Flash this again. Okay, so sales, it's a string, it's all red. I put sales 2, it's an object. Okay, so now it's an object, you can access its attributes. A string you can't. It's just it's like a, A is equal to 5, same thing. But here I can access each of these attributes. So the first attribute here is the name. I can access that. So it'll be sales dot name. Well, the first one, the first 0. So it'll be like sales sales 0 of name. Nope. Is it just name? I thought it's wait a minute. Sales 0. Sales 0 object of name. Yeah. It's the array. Why does it not work here? Well, anyways, yeah, you have to access the array index 0 and then the dot name. I must have done something wrong there. So that's why this is important. And then when you send it back, you have to convert it to strings, and that's just by changing that to stringify. So if I do this, var sales 3, and if I put down here sales 3 is equal to JSON.stringify the sales 2. If I convert that to a string and put that into sales 3, right? And reload that. Okay, so we'll see that sales is a string, sales 2 is an object, and sales 3 is a string again. Okay, it includes all the if you look at this one here, if I copy this, it looks different from this, right? Or similar. If I go back here, it converts it. If I put it here, you'll see that it's identical. Okay? So it's a string. Back to that same JSON format. And then now I can send that over to the server, and the other server or the other page or file can access it and modify it and convert it back. Okay, any questions on the JSON data? You can go, as you can see, you see here that in the JSON data, we just show like property, like the key value, and so on. If you want to add more data, you can do that. Right? You could have like I might have like sales here. I might have, for example, let's just say back to the bark thing, right? Right? And then I can put the function here, and then pull up whatever it is in here. I wonder if that will. Let's see. I wonder if that will convert. Yeah, it should convert. It should convert back to to the function. So just saying that you can do that. You can even pass like more. Maybe that's a bad example, but you can do something like zip code, and then in the zip code you have like a array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then and so on. So you can have nested objects inside itself here, data. But again, this will all be just strings. Actually, no, this will also be, yeah. And I shouldn't close that one here. It should still be a part of it until we reach the end of that. Okay, so I just added another parameter because zip here has an array. So you're not limited to just like one layer. You can go as deep as you want. Sometimes it's much harder to do this way in JSON. So usually you would do it in object method here because it's easier to do in object. So I would do an object like we did with the pet, like this. This is object, and then now I can go ahead and then var be like obj is JSON.stringify the pet, right? If you do that, now instead of the pet object, I change it to all strings. And if you run that, see what it looks like. So here it is. Make the request. Okay. If I type in pet, that's the object. Obj is a string. Okay. So you look at they looked. I mean, you have the similar data, but different information. Okay. I think that's all I want to cover. I want to, and actually we'll continue with the other part, the JSON-P. That's for if you want to access data from cross-server. Okay, so from a different server or different domain, because the XHTML request, you can only do that within the same domain name. If you want to go to a different domain and get data from there, you'll use the JSON-P. Okay, the JSON padding, that's what the P stands for. And we'll do that next week. That one is very popular as well. It's very dangerous. So yeah, it's dangerous. And you see that sometimes, like that's how you get data from, for example, from Twitter or from Snapchat, Instagram, right? You write the API. You from your site, you're able to like grab the API from their server and then pull the data to your server, and you display the information there, pay the pictures and so on. That's you going crossing a different domain, and you can only do that with the JSON.p API. And so when you do that, you have to be careful, because you have to be really just trust the other site, assuming that they don't send you any malicious code across, right? If you don't know it, because inside that JSON data, it could be a function in there can come in and it's a worm or something on your server, it will do that too. So it's really risky to do that. So just make sure if you do it, you know that site, know the domain, know the user, the owner there, you trust that person. Otherwise, it's dangerous. That's why. Okay, so I'll stop here, and then we will continue on next week and bring questions if you have any.